Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Hey guys, Bix Weir, Rooda.com. Good news and bad news for you. The good news: Canadian silver hits $50. Woohoo! Got an email this morning from a Road to Rooda customer up in Canada saying, "Woohoo! I'm Canadian. It hit $50." Of course, that's Canadian dollars. As far as in the U.S. of A., we're at 36.62. I mean, that's the good news. The bad news is the banking cabal has not gone away. As a matter of fact, the banking cabal has been shorting for the last 2-3 weeks into this rise. So they are allowing it to go up, but they're capping how high it can go up. They're going longer and longer on the short side. And that is danger point for both sides, because normally in a normal market where the silver riggers have had control since the invention of computer derivative trading programs in the early 70s by Alan Greenspan, and the adaptation of that by the Fed, the Exchange Stabilization Fund, and all the bullion banks, they've been playing that game and they've been winning that game. They allow the price of silver to rise, shorting it as it gets higher and higher, and then slam it to cover the shorts and to destroy any weak hands. So that's where we are. Now we are at Monday, so tomorrow will be the next full week, ending tomorrow, next full week of the commitment of traders reporting area. And this is where we find all that data at the CFTC, who no longer has any leadership. If you watched my show yesterday, the two people left have given notice that they're out of here. Now, they did pick a guy, Quinteres, who's been a CFTC commissioner before, but he hasn't been confirmed. I don't think he's working yet. So what an amazing time for the price of silver to destroy the bad guys, because, we had no cops on the beat. No wonder the price of silver went to $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever. It's all a con. It's all a fraud. The banks know exactly how much trouble they're in and what they're doing. And, oh, by the way, don't forget, and this comes into play every time we're at points like this, the COMEX, the CME that controls the COMEX exchange, can change the rules on you in a blink of an eye. So they could say, they could do what they did to the Hunt brothers. No more buying silver, only selling silver. In essence, that's what happened. The price of silver went from $50 in 1980 down to literally within 2 months, it was back under control around 15, 10, and went under $10. That's how much power these criminals have with their derivative trading. And you see it in the numbers. I mean, look at the numbers. We're in max, huge numbers. This is 3 times 5, 650 million ounces on Thursday, and then about 500 and something million ounces traded. This is literally the bankers trading back and forth with each other to set the price. And they're having a problem. Is it out of control? No, it's not out of control yet. But there also isn't like in 1980 when silver hit $50, that was the all-time high. Oh my God, it's at all-time high, and all the weak hands got in. The Paul Volcker at the time, who was the head of the Fed, slammed the price of silver with the help of closing down the Hunt brothers and all that stuff. But yes, and Paul Volcker said, in his memoirs, he said, I should have rigged the price of gold lower. Well, he did. And it wasn't just him, obviously, it was the banking cabal. But what he did was he took silver down. That was the most important thing, because silver is so much more important than gold. In everyday life, obviously in electronics, but also on the monetary side. Imagine, try to fathom the amount of money that goes into gold investing, going into 1/100th of that. If 1/100th of that went into silver, then we would have a massive silver price moonshot. And no matter how much the banks want to tell you that gold's more valuable than silver, the reality is no, it's not. Not even close. So we will find out over the next coming months and years just how much gold there is, which I believe to be well over 2 million tons, not 220,000 tons like the the World the Silver Institute and the World Gold Council will say about gold. And there's who knows how much silver there is really. I've only found one secret silver stockpile where I found probably a dozen hidden gold stockpiles within the ground and above the ground. And read Yamashita's gold. It's pronounced Yamashita, so I'm told, but I've also said, people have said Yamashita. I'm going to say Yamashita. That was over 300,000 tons. And the GATA guys can, look at it and say, oh, that's bullshit. But which they have done for the last 20 years. But the reality is they didn't read the damn book and they didn't look at the evidence. The evidence is very clear. And everything I've followed up on has pointed to, there really was over 300,000 tons hidden in the Philippines right after World War II. And then the U.S. Black Ops got it, and that's what they've been using to control their systems. And the 1934 gold-backed bonds, those are real. That's a real deal. And yeah, they were defaulted on. But so has every promise given by anybody on the monetary side. So when Judy Shelton comes out and says, we're going to have a 50-year gold-backed bond, who in the hell would believe that? Judy might believe it and want it to be true, but the next administration will say, no, we have gold. We got gold backing these gold-backed bonds. And they'll just take the gold. That's what happens every time. And that's why I say there will be no deciders. No NESRA, no GESRA, no XRP, Quantum Financial System. It's all bullshit. There will be no deciders. He who has the gold make the rules? Yeah. He who has the silver makes the rules? Yeah. But who has the gold? Who really has the gold? The bankers have most of the gold. Do they know? Some of them know that there's 10 times as much gold out there as people say there is. They don't care. I mean, truthfully, for gold being used as money, it's probably a better thing that there's a lot of gold out there, especially within the United States of America. The Golden Dome. How much does the U.S. have? My guess would be over 1 million tons. And we tell the world that we have 8,100 tons of gold. And we're all scared about Fort Knox. That's so ridiculous. There's so much more gold out there. Anyway, back to silver, which is where you should be. We're back under, I think we're around 90 to 1. So those who traded gold for silver not only got the bump up from the price of silver, you also got the 10% bump up you would have lost in your gold value. And when it goes to 1 to 1, that'll be 100%, or what, 10x? 10x? 100x. 90x right now. For you gold people, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you believed in something that has done well for you, right? Because the bankers allow the price of gold to go up because they hold all the gold, obviously. They don't hold the silver, so they suppress the price of silver. From the very beginning, I got into silver because I knew at some point, the manipulators would be tossed out. Is this the point? I don't know. Do I feel it's like September, October timeframe? Probably. Will it happen right away? Maybe not. Maybe it'll just go up in the 40s and they'll slam it down again, and then it's a September, October. Who knows? But it's all determined on the comics, futures and options. But we are having massive deliveries. Massive. Look at this. Trade at settlement. 5,000. This is a derivative game. It is a derivative game. It's got nothing to do with gold and silver other than these. Standing for delivery. Now, June is not a delivery month. July is. Last month I told you, Wells Fargo is going to take as much as they can in the non-delivery month because they have to deliver in the delivery month. So I was taking a look at, okay, who's been delivering? Well, look at just yesterday, the two biggies, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo. What the fuck is Wells Fargo even doing in silver? Unless they took the back end of the JP Morgan, Bank of America sublease to Wells Fargo. Now, by the way, you have to also look at the gold derivatives because that's how you take losses here and we'll give you gains in gold. In the gold derivative. It's a very complex game and orchestrated through the banking cabal. All the trades are done through a company called Virtu Financial, which used to be called EWT LLC. They're silver ETF, quote, authorized participant, SLV authorized participant, which is ridiculous. Why have a high frequency trading company and a market maker being literally a silver authorized participant in physical silver? You ask me, I don't know. Ask Trump. Trump knows. He put Vinny Viola's name up as the head of the army, which is ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. And yes, I admit I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes with our government. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I think Trump was in charge all the last 4 years when they said Biden was in charge, to an extent, probably to the ultimate extent, but they let the people see how bad things really could get, and boy, can they get bad. But don't forget, history has shown that governments change. So Trump, unless you get your shit together and get everything done in the remaining 3.5 years, we're shit out of luck and they'll change everything back. So that's where we are. But yeah, Wells Fargo, keep an eye on Wells Fargo. They are taking physical delivery. I've shown very clearly how this is done. Now, of the 2,882 contracts, which is 14 million ounces or so, that have been stood for delivery, 92% of that delivered silver is from two banks. Guess who? JP Morgan Chase, and where are they? Where's that little Wells Fargo? Here they are. Wells Fargo has taken almost 6 million ounces of silver. Why? Because they have to deliver it in July. Meaning they have shorts in July they can't cover, and they know someone's going to be standing for delivery. And it's going to be probably over 6 million ounces. If you look back here it was 10 million ounces in May. So July is going to be an interesting delivery month. Do I think we'll go over 100 million ounces? It's possible. And is that real physical silver, or is it just silver going back and forth to different banks? No, right now it's going back and forth to different banks. But it doesn't take much. It doesn't take many billions of dollars to destroy the silver game. I think the Trump-Elon Musk fake feud that's going on has everything to do with destroying the monetary system. Elon's sitting out there saying, oh, don't sign the great big beautiful bill. It's massively inflationary, blah, blah, blah. Trump's an asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's so fake. It's embarrassing how fake it is. But what is it doing? It's calling attention to the problem, the debt problem, the deficit problem. And then Trump came out yesterday or the day before saying we have to do all solar panels everywhere to fix the energy problem. Solar panels should be everywhere, which is basically saying we should use every freaking ounce of silver we can ever get out of the ground, pull out our fillings, and make solar panels with them. What? Elon, don't you know this is going to destroy your electric car company? Of course he knows. It's all part of the plan. Hey, save America first. America first, save America first. You save America by destroying the unbacked fiat monetary system in general. That's how they get their power. The bad guys get their power from fake money. And no country in the history of humanity has ever paid off their debt that I know of. Right now, every country is in debt, so they couldn't have paid it off. They could fake some books and say, oh yeah, we paid off our debt, but within a week they'll be back in debt because we have no debt, we can borrow. The idea was never, ever, ever to pay off the debt. The idea was to run the unbacked fiat monetary system as long and hard as possible, soaking up all the benefits. Build your military, your houses, your roads, your bridges, and then you pull the plug. Voila. The weapon of mass financial destruction can be found in the silver market, and it has to do with derivatives. That's what Warren Buffett called derivatives, weapons of mass financial destruction. And he's right. There's $3 quadrillion worth of derivatives, for the most part unregulated. The way Alan Greenspan back in the 90s fought Brooks Lee Bourne to make sure that there's no regulation on derivatives, build that bubble as high as possible, and then pop it. And no generation has had the balls to pop it yet. But I think we're getting very, very close. Trump's got balls. Elon's got balls. and the people backing them do. They know just how much our country has suffered under these criminals that run and run the unbacked fiat monetary system. There's no difference between a Democrat and a Republican when it comes to politics. You might think there's a difference, but they all answer to the same people. If Trump didn't get in, who would it be? It would be a joke of a. They both worked for the same side. Look at the Bush family. My God. So, yeah, here we go. Yesterday I talked about the Commitment of Traders report. Again, tomorrow's the last day of reporting, so there'll be another report out Friday. Because the price of silver has risen X amount, they'll probably put another, I don't know, what they put on. The shorts put on 35 million ounces. They'll probably put on another 40 million ounces, 50 million ounces. And at some point, they'll try to cause the collapse of the price of silver. They might bring the whole system down just to bring silver with it. You cannot be contingent. Your position can't be contingent upon the price of silver. You can't have leveraged silver. You can't have mining shares. You can't have anything other than physical silver in your own possession when this end game goes. Physical in your own possession. If you have gold, you might do all right. Gold might double or triple in a collapse. Who knows? Who knows what the dollar will be worth? But silver will go 100 times what gold has gone. And it will go to a 1-to-1 ratio, which is probably even conservative. Bix, how can you say that? It's coming out of the ground at 7-to-1. Yeah, but all the above ground stocks of silver are going away and being consumed in solar panels and electric cars and flat screen TVs and blah, 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 blah. We have all heard the stories. And now we have AI, which is going to consume massive amount, probably more than what the current solar industry is consuming, which is 400 million ounces of silver, not 200 million ounces of silver. They lie, cheat, and steal about the numbers. The Silver Institute is a ridiculous organization. It's only 2 people. Oh, my God. What a game we play, my friends. What a game we play. Here's something interesting. We need a kill switch on foreign powers tampering with our electric grid. What? It has long been acknowledged that the United States energy infrastructure isn't particularly secure, a concern exacerbated by the lack of central planning process for our nation's piecemeal electric grid. Listen to this. The recent news that China apparently installed hidden kill switches in solar equipment sold to the U.S. was the latest in a long list of reasons to be concerned about our electricity infrastructure. Holy shit. So China installs a kill switch on all their solar. I mean, they make 95% of all the solar panels on the planet, and they got kill switches in there. So they can turn off anybody's solar power, which screws with the grid, which probably turns off the grid. Holy crap. And they're remote detonated. It's not, you basically, they're useless. So what do? All that silver's wasted. You're going to have to go back and recycle it, which at $30 an ounce is not profitable. Maybe at $200 or $300 an ounce, but that's a lot of work and a lot of time. And don't forget, who's going to deinstall it? And what's going to do with our grid? If they all of a sudden say, oh my God, we made a mistake. China's in on all the solar panels going to be shut off. We have to shut them off so we control it. So then you have all this just shut off. No wonder Trump's pushing the nuclear power. And then great, we can get the silver. How long would it take to recycle all the solar panels in the United States, including deinstall? And it's literally just the labor alone would make it unaffordable to do, to pull those panels off and then recycle them. There's not, literally, it would have to be $200-$300 silver for even to think about that. And most people won't turn it off. Most people, at least on the residential side, those solar panels are not controlled by the government. You can just keep them going. Even if China does have a kill switch. Keep them going until they get killed. Wow. Very, very interesting world we're moving into. Keep an eye on this baby. T Fuel is about to get. Let me just say, come was it June 25th when the hybrid edge cloud goes into. It'll take a month or two for people to understand just how big this is. And then when Google and or Amazon and Azure say, "Oh yeah, we're working with Theta on the decentralized cloud," because oh by the way, we're at war with Taiwan and we can't get the computer equipment we need. It's all working out on the road to Rooda. Just get your Theta fuel and Theta. Theta's fine. It's a governance token. People like screaming at me because I'm more bullish on Theta fuel. I am at 20-1. Wait till it goes to 1-1. At some point, Theta fuel and Theta will go to 1-1. Why? Because every transaction burns a little bit of T fuel. Yes, there's a 5% inflation kicker. But every transaction, throw that into AI. How many transactions does it take to run the AI system? Like trillions of transactions every time you're burning a little bit of T fuel. So yeah, I do think Theta fuel, at least it should be right now 6-1, because they've burned about 800 million T fuel and they've made just about that for the inflation since T fuel was introduced. So it's about maybe 6.2 billion T fuel to 1 Theta. And remember what Theta is. It is the governance token of the blockchain. Very important for the Theta ecosystem. But so is T fuel. And the price of T fuel at $3.4 cents is too low for people to even start to get interested in running an edge node on their phone, on their smart TV, on their laptop. You bring that up to $1, that makes it more interesting for people to say, oh my God, look, I'm making money just by downloading this program. That's the future. But in the meantime, you're going to want to have silver. Silver's the present. Silver's the bank killer. So keep an eye on what the criminals do. I think today and tomorrow it will continue to look strong, and then they might try to take it down on Wednesday because that's the start of a new reporting week. That will either do Wednesday or Thursday, or they just keep it running because they can't stop and they can't cover. And maybe this is the good guys' run. And maybe by having no regulators, who's better off, the good guys or the bad guys? The bad guys used the regulators. Remember Rustin Benham, the head of the CFTC, when silver almost hit $30? He goes, it was the structure of the silver market that luckily we tamped down the price of silver. That is regulatory capture. That is the criminals saying, holy shit, Mr. Regulator, help us. And they did. Now there is no regulator. Very interesting. When will I sell my silver? I'll start looking at other investments at 20-1 gold silver ratio. I probably won't sell any until it's below 7-1, which is what's coming out of the ground. And then I'll sell some more at 3-1, which should be an equal balance when they stop putting silver into solar panels, which they would do. And then 1-1 is probably the golden ratio. And that's where the ratio should be. And I do think it will probably run for a brief time 10-1, 10 ounces of gold for 1 ounce of silver. And I know it sounds crazy right now at 90-1, but I don't look at price because I know it's fake. Those are derivatives. They even tell you, look at the comic. This is where the price is determined right here. So on Friday, they traded over 500 million ounces of fake silver just to keep the price from rising too much. Now, if all these shorts that have gone in recently by the big commercials, had they not done that, silver would be well over $100 by now, probably $200-$300 and running. But no, they don't. They did. I think we will pass $50 this year, and that will become a solid granite floor that will never be breached again in human history. That's my take. Also, on the exciting side, archaeologists discover more than 100 structures linked to mysterious pre-Columbian civilizations. Why not just watch Graham Hancock's show, Archaeologists? Archaeologists. There are many civilizations before us, much more advanced than we are. We can't build the pyramids today. How do we do it? 5,000, 10,000 years ago. We can't build Machu Picchu. We can't carry stones to the top of that mountain. How they do it 15,000 years ago. Now, they say we did it like 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. It's just so stupid. How stupid is humanity? Based on high-altitude urban centers, Chacapurai resisted conquest by the Inca Empire for centuries. Pretty cool. I love this kind of stuff. Is that wood? A wood wouldn't survive. There's stone. See, that's not the exciting part right here. That stonework right there is not the work of the pre-civilization type of people. Who knows, right? We'll find out. But it's very old. Yeah, it looks like all mortar type stuff, and it's not that exciting. I just saw the headline. They're finding all kinds of massive cities all over South America using LiDAR. Just from an airplane, you bounce a signal, a radio signal, or whatever they bounce off, and it bounces back. It takes out all the foliage that's covered it up, and they find outlines of cities everywhere down there. Millions and millions and millions of civilized people lived there before the Spanish went in there. So, there you go. There's your excitement for the day. What should you do? You should be on the sidelines on your silver throne with your stacked silver saying, bring it. I'm ready for the price to go down to minus $40 like they did with oil, or I'm ready for the price to go to $1 million an ounce. I'm ready for anything. And I can survive if the system collapses on its own weight of the $3 quadrillion in derivatives. And I know I won't have a bank account. I won't have a checking account. I won't have a retirement fund. I won't have any Visa card access. I won't have anything other than what you got right now. For a while, fiat money, the paper stuff, and the coinage might be worth something, but not for very long. We can't go on very long without a monetary system, maybe a week or two. And then after that, it's Mad Max world, here we come, and then we all die. Because the systems that we use to run our nuclear power plants and all that, they run off the fiat system too. That's how big this is. This is bigger than anybody ever imagined. And it just got worse and worse since 1913, since they decided to kick the can down the road. After they found all that gold in the Grand Canyon, they kicked the can down the road, and we continue to kick the can down the road because we refuse to take responsibility for ourselves, and we let these criminals take charge of us. It's our fault after 100 years, but now we're going to fix that. And we're going to destroy them, which would destroy the system, and go on to something new and better. Probably gold and silver-based monetary system. But I'd say probably 1-to-1. 1 ounce of silver and 1 ounce of gold will be part of the new monetary system. There's so much gold out there, and there's so little silver. So if you haven't swapped at 100-to-1, and you're thinking about it now at 90-to-1, you'll be thinking about it more at 80-to-1, 71, 60-to-1. Both are going to go up, but silver is just going to go up a hell of a lot faster because of that massive silver short position held by the criminal bankers. Less than 8 bankers hold 52% of the entire global silver short. No, it's on the comic silver short. But that's pretty much what sets the price. Derivatives. All right. Yeah, that's what I got for you. Lots more on the private road at roadtorooda.com. Click subscribe today. We're currently giving out 1 Veritasium token lottery ticket. This is 1 Veritasium token loaded on paper wallet, mailed to your front door. You don't have to know anything about cryptos. Just stick it in your safe, and you hang on to, after the crash, cryptos are going to be very, very valuable. And the Veri token, which Cliff High's data has it going 1-to-1 with Bitcoin, should be that lottery ticket. We'll find out, though, right? We'll find out. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.